What's going on, everyone? Today, I want to talk about one powerful habit that can drastically and immediately help you improve your sleep and thereby also boost your creativity. And that one tip also has a lot of other benefits that are worth talking about. So let's get to it. Roll the intro. Now, before we get started, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we are in an active fight in an active brawl with the YouTube algorithm, and we intend on kicking its behind. And also, if you want to cultivate creativity and productivity from tips and tricks from real industry insiders, then check out our podcast. Links will be in the description down below. We drop an episode every single Monday, and it's free education, baby. It's free education. All right, so there are many tips out there on how to improve your sleep, such as getting a nighttime routine, and that's probably one of the best ways to improve your sleep. However, that's not my tip. Other things includes switching off your phone, tablet, TV, computer, and just getting off the screen about an hour before you sleep. Some say reading, breathing exercises, and etc. There are so many tips and tricks on how to improve your sleep. Personally, I know they work because I've tried it, but it's hard for me to implement it on a regular basis because so much of what I do just requires that I'm in front of a screen, such as like writing and editing. So I wanted to try something that took minimum effort and was easy to implement, but like had a really great impact on my life. And so I started to do journaling. So I go through some phases of like a boost in creativity sometimes, and it usually comes at the worst times, like when I'm in the shower or when I'm on the can or right before I'm supposed to sleep. I get new idea after new idea, and I'm on this inexplicable roll that I kind of enjoy, except I'm not getting any sleep. It's literally keeping me up at night. Now, I think a lot of people, especially those who identify as creatives, but also those who don't, can relate to this problem. We get this new idea and we're so excited about them, and it literally keeps us up at night. And this cycle just repeats itself, and eventually you're sleep deprived, which is completely counterintuitive because you need sleep to be creative. So research has shown that a lack of sleep has been linked to poor cognitive function, and that includes poor focus, poor concentration, erratic behavior, inability to multitask, increased mistakes, and of course low creativity. So sleep is absolutely crucial to being a creative person who does creative things consistently. So I'll leave the links in the description below to this article, and you guys can finish reading it from start to finish to get more insight into how sleep affects your creativity. But to me, it can partially help us explain why all these great ideas that we come up with at night are rarely or if ever fulfilled. We go to sleep full of energy and this hunger to make these ideas come to life. But once we get up in the morning, everyday life just makes us more tired than usual. And that's because we're, well, sleep deprived. Or you try to work on an idea, and while you work on that idea, another idea comes onto your mind, and that cycle just keeps repeating itself, and eventually you don't actually get anything done. So recently I've dealt with this, and it led me to getting up at 2 a.m. in the morning on a work day, and I was just twisting and turning for a really long time in the bed. So I decided to get up and find a solution. And I think I found that solution, but it should be said as a disclaimer, if you suffer from chronic insomnia or anything similar to that, make sure you see a doctor and get it checked out. Maybe it's something not good that you should get checked out. Okay, so back to my story. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm still not asleep, and I got work in the morning. So I got up, went into the living room, and I just started writing. I was writing down my thoughts in an app, everything from my ideas to my frustrations from my lack of sleep, but also my work situation, which I actually really like. And I wrote about COVID, and you could write about your dinner, you could write about your sock, like literally you could write about anything. And you know what? I went back to bed and I felt extremely relieved, and I fell asleep. So in about 6th or 7th grade, I remember a teacher telling me that if you're really frustrated with someone, write them a letter that you don't send to anyone. And I was really frustrated with someone. We were doing some group work and he wasn't really pulling his weight. So I got really frustrated and I decided to try this tip out. I started writing everything I felt. And after I wrote that letter and sent it to myself, I felt relieved. So my tip is journaling. And we're gonna go through 3 benefits that comes from journaling on a regular basis. And tip number 1, we just touched upon it. It's like a brain dump. and it helps you stay mentally organized. So we live really hectic lives, at least the most of us, I assume. We have work, studies for some people, we have hobbies, families, maybe a significant other, and a lot of different things that are some responsibilities that you need to attend to. And some of that will eventually stress you out. You'll have anxiety over something, you'll get excited about something, and all those things are thoughts that need to get communicated to something or someone. So let's explore that. Communicating to others can be tricky because they can't be there on demand, like at 2 a.m. in the morning. But another aspect to consider is you may not be comfortable speaking to someone about every single personal problem that you have. So a journal may be a good alternative to get these thoughts out of your head, to get these emotions out of your head while maintaining some sort of privacy. Sometimes it's also just hard to know how to structure or interpret your thoughts and feelings. So if you write it down, you also have the option of coming back and looking at it at a later time to maybe get a new perspective on it when you're in an emotionally neutral state. So that's tip number 1, brain dump, and helps you organize your thoughts. So that tip alone will probably go a long way in order to help you sleep if you have a lot on your mind before you go to sleep. Benefit number 2, it improves your memory. So you don't need to write stuff down just to declutter or relieve stress. You can also kind of do it to create a list of things you want to get done throughout the day, and writing it down in general improves the chances of you actually remembering it. Now maybe you won't forget to do the dishes before you go to sleep, and you won't forget to take out the trash before you go to sleep. So you can use an app for that, and there are literally an array of apps that you can use, or you can use the baked in notes app or to-do app on your phone. But in general, writing it down by hand is probably the best choice. So let's get semi-technical from a non-neurologist perspective. So writing by hand requires way more from your brain than typing does, and your memory of handwritten stuff is like directly tied to the movements that you create when you write, and that activates certain parts of the brain that typing just doesn't. So all that complex sensory information just increases the chances that you'll remember it when you actually need it. So like I said, there are different ways to implement this into your life, but realistically, most of us aren't going to be carrying a physical journal with us, especially when we have phones. But you could keep a physical journal at home when you write your to-do list before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, or whatever suits your schedule and needs. So write down your to-do list by hand and watch yourself become like Bradley Cooper in Limitless. And tip number 3, journal to get more creative ideas done. Okay, so you're an SD card. Bear with me. You're an SD card that's full, and you see something you want to take a picture of. But in order to do that, you need to delete a photo to make way for the new one. So now you take your picture, and that picture is just straight fire. Wait, now you see another thing you want to take a picture of. So you have to delete another one, and you take your picture, and it's straight fire. And that cycle just repeats itself. And eventually, you'd have done this so many times that you end up deleting a picture that you absolutely loved, or a picture that would have looked great in your portfolio. We get one idea, and while we're trying to bring that to life, we get another one, and we try to bring that to life, and then we get another one, and another one, and another one, and that cycle just keeps repeating itself. And you know what happens? We forget about that one idea that had great potential, because we've cluttered our mind with so many ideas that we basically lost focus. So you see, you're an SD card. Dump your footage so you have room for more ideas, but more importantly, dump your thoughts so you can actually work on them. So a study has shown that vividly describing your goals gives you a 1.2 to 1.4% bigger chance at achieving them, and that's a significant difference. Sources will again be down in the description below. Writing down your goals and ideas allows you to revisit them at a later time without having to fear that another idea will overshadow it. And that's the problem that I mentioned before. We're constantly in our heads, and if you're constantly in your head, there's no way to protect your ideas. We can't chase every single idea that we get. We only have so much time, and realistically, we're only going to chase a very few of them. So writing down your ideas and goals can actually help you get stuff done. And when you get stuff done, you get happy. And when you're happy, you get more stuff done. Now that's a cycle that everyone can get behind. So if anyone has experiences with this or decides to give it a shot, let us know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We are, as I said before, actively fighting the YouTube algorithm. This is Ali versus Frazier. And right now, we're in the rounds where Frazier is kicking Ali's butt. But you guys know what happened. Ali won. And that's what we intend to do. And of course, if you want to check out our podcast on how you cultivate productivity, creativity, and you get tips from industry insiders, with big name clients and how to build a brand, then check out the link in the description below. We drop an episode every single Monday and it's free. Like I said before, it's free and educational. Honestly, people keep complaining about education being expensive. This is free. Come get it free, baby. Come get it free. All right, so we're just gonna wrap this up. Until next time, stay creative, stay productive, stay safe, and of course, stay happy. Peace.